Oh, one viewer and one thumbs up. Welcome everybody to the stream. This is the weekly US time zone live stream. We're going to be doing the US time zone live stream every Tuesday, and I'm going to move the European one to Thursday so I don't have to do two streams in one day. So Thursday is going to be like 1 or 2 p.m. and we're going to do another stream. Jenna, Tinky, welcome. We got 4 viewers now, 2 thumbs up. Thank you guys for joining. April 11-381, welcome to the stream. There's no specific topic for today, but I can show you guys some stuff. For instance, actually, let me put this back. How do I put that back? Alexander, welcome. As always, guys, check this out. The office is empty. Yep. Check it out. What's that on the floor? Oh, it's a USB cable. Like, is that like a log or something? Hello, DJ Genki. Hello, Jason, and hello, Serena. Alexander, I love you. I hope you love me too. Well, you just said you did, but what was I talking about earlier? I don't remember. But if you guys didn't join last week's stream, we're going to be moving down the street. It's a house. It's slightly smaller, but the rent is actually going to go down. Well, yeah, it's going to go down. It's going to be much cheaper. It's going to be smaller. It's going to be a nice place for my mother to live as for the rest of her life if she wants to, and I can go wherever I want. We're kind of in the middle of moving. I mean, we don't have to move until, in fact, we can't move until the 18th, I believe. That's a Saturday, I believe. Hello, Thomas. Vorn Heater, not the Thomas from Adventure Archives. We can't move until the 18th, but we're getting everything ready so that we don't have to think about it, and it's just going to be all ready as soon as it's time to go. I've cleared out this whole room. Now that I've cleared out this office, I kind of want to just leave it like this, even once I get to the new place, because I want to separate all of the video game stuff anyway, so that it's not like tempting me to play when I'm working. And having this room nice and open like this, I almost knocked the laptop over. I really like having it like this because it eliminates all the distractions and everything. And, I've always said that I don't care about, where can I show you a good one? Like those patches and stuff on the wall. But I must admit that once we get to the new place, it'll be really nice to actually have like a nicely finished house with new carpet. I think we're going to install new carpet and then new floors and stuff, and then also paint the walls. It'll be nice. Christopher Williams, hey, Robby, give us a dab. If this is a dab, there's a dab for you. You like to see homeboys naked. Don't know what that means. Alexander says, don't you dare, gross. Oh, for dabbing. We'll not be dancing today, but that is something we could do at some point. I feel like dancing's not very interactive because like I guess I could do the dances that you want me to do, but we're not gonna be doing that today. We'll do that some other time. Okay, Michael Santoyo, if you have a serious question, please ask it. If you keep asking that question, I'm gonna have to boot you. In fact, let me go ahead and make Alexander a mod. Would you like to be a mod, Alexander? Because boom, you're a mod now. Okay, Michael, it's like I don't know what you're talking about here. Anyways, the weather has finally warmed up to where it is much nicer. I was actually able to run in shorts and a t-shirt today, and that was fantastic. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Well, goodbye, Michael Santoyo. Alexander, thank you for moderating for me. I appreciate it. And you do kind of look like you work at Home Depot with that wrench now. Anyways, if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask them. I feel like there's ways for me to make these live streams more entertaining, but I have yet to do anything to actually make them more entertaining. I do have some new music that I just wrote, which I could show you guys, but I I think that would only be entertaining for me. So we won't show that. It's freezing here in San Diego. It was 30 degrees this past weekend here. And yeah, 30 degrees. Today, it's actually 80 degrees, which is great. But it's also kind of worrying because should the temperature be fluctuating that rapidly? I feel like it can do that all the time. And I think the thing is that it's just on everybody's mind now with global warming and everything. Anytime the weather does anything a little bit weird, you're like, uh-oh, is the world about to come to an end? But I think it's just the weather fluctuates. Juan Carlos, welcome. Oh, actually, welcome. Who did I miss? Joe Prokowski, welcome. DJ Genki, did I say welcome yet? Don Tackett, welcome. Nothing is up really today. Yeah. I'm working on a new episode, the Seneca Creek episode. We went to, I think Seneca Creek is in like Monongahela National Forest. It was snowing really hard. You've probably seen like snippets of it in the vlog at some point. But that episode is coming along very nicely. In fact, let me see if I can play some music in the background. If that works. Yeah, let's see if this works. Okay. Well, hopefully you guys can see this or hear this. I might be the only person who can hear it, actually. The road trip was fantastic. We saw a lot of really amazing stuff. By the end of it, I mean, we talked about this before, but we were all ready to part ways and actually get back to our own life. And it's been really nice since then. I think we're ready to actually start interacting with each other again, though, after that experience. Okay, let me just stop the music because it's not even important. I would like to see you guys go to Alaska Denali. Denali is actually something I would really like to go to just myself, not necessarily climb the mountain, but that whole park is supposed to be really good. So I think at some point we'll probably go there. In the near future, we have no plans other than that. I think we can start getting one hiking video out every week. We're probably, because right now we have a huge backlog of stuff that we can just release as we go. But just going to a place, filming a quick video and releasing it, like kind of like a Thomas length and style of video, that's something that just we gotta put in the effort to do, and we can totally do that. What is the likeliness of Nicole appearing on the next episode? Pretty unlikely. Just because we don't have anything planned right now. And if we do, well, I say pretty unlikely, but I'm not basing that off of anything. It could totally happen. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It could happen or it could not happen, and we won't know until we open the box. Is your brain melting with all of the editing you have to do now? No, actually, because I'm trying to keep it manageable. What I would do when I would come back from big trips like this in the past is just edit until I burn myself out. But now I'm actually making like a schedule and making sure I stick to it. So Alexander says it's almost pizza time. So for those of you guys who have not heard on any of the previous streams, we are going to have the world's first internet pizza party. I don't know if that's actually a real thing or not. But we are going to be having a pizza party on a stream at some point. I suggested to Alexander when I go visit him in late May or like 3 weeks into May that we do it at his house live and eat the pizza together. Depending on how good his internet is, we might even do it outside. We were talking about that today, but how many episodes of 10-minute podcast did you listen to on the drive? I listened to precisely 0 episodes of 10-minute podcast, partially because I think you told me about it last week and I didn't listen to it any since then. And that was after the road trip. So I couldn't listen to it on the road trip. Oh man. Who is Nicole? Nicole is a guest star on Adventure Archive. She's one of Brian's friends. I think they started out working together, and then once they both moved to different jobs afterwards, but they stayed friends. And she's really into camping and stuff. So she was like, "Can I go?" And or maybe Brian suggested that she go. But either way, she's a great guest star on Adventure Archives. Um, I'll make sure I replace the string between the cans so we get good connection. Yes, please do that. There's some nice silver strings. Okay, well, what did the drive consist of when filming wasn't going on? The drive consisted of me, if I was in the car with Brian or Andrew, the drive was either me sitting there staring out the window while they drived, or me driving while Brian and Andrew played on some cell phone or gadget and left me to just die driving, bored out of my mind. When I was in the car with Thomas, Thomas always drove, so he was always driving. uh, I would talk to him, or he would tell me which Clone Wars episode to watch, and I would watch that. But yeah, the driving was pretty boring, especially those really long stints where it was like 8 or 9 hours. God, I can't do that long, man. I have to break it up. We broke up most of the drives into like manageable chunks. So like it was 3 hours here, 4 hours there. Sometimes it'd be like 7 or 8 hours in a day, but it would be like some in the morning and some in the evening. Does microwave Chicago town pizza count? Little late for ordering pizza here in the UK. So we're not doing the pizza party today. We're going to be doing it at some point coming up. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. But I myself will be getting a microwave pizza. So feel free to also get a microwave pizza. I'm going to get a Chicago home run in. Is that what it's called? Home run in. Really simple pizzas, but they have just simple ingredients and they taste really good. So, in fact, just talking about it right now, I kind of want one. Have you ever tried editing on Final Cut? I've edited on Final Cut 7. That's the one that they did before 10, right? I've done a little bit on Final Cut 10 or 7, but that was before I got really into editing. And I downloaded the trial for Final Cut 10. I fully intended to try it out, and then by the time the trial was only for 30 days, I never tried it, so I still have not really tried it. But I would like to give it a shot, especially Final Cut 10 is so much different from Premiere, and it's supposedly really well thought out. It's just you actually have to take the time to learn it. So my brother just texted me. Have you had 2 cars for the trip? Question mark. Yes, we rented 1 car, and then Thomas drove his car back. So for those of you who don't know, the road trip was because Thomas was moving back to Ohio. So we just made a trip out of it. So his car was mostly filled with his stuff, besides the stuff that he had shipped back. And he didn't take any furniture or anything back. Okay, Alexander says, why does your country have so much better junk food than mine? Well, what is your junk food? Because I thought your junk food was mostly just our junk food with a slightly different name. And our junk food, the reason why it's so good, I don't know what the reason why it's so good. It is the reason why we have so many health problems, so because you have that much junk food readily available for such a cheap price. I mean, come on, man. Of course that's going to happen. William McKean, welcome. Thank you for joining. What was one food you tried making during an episode that really didn't sit right with you or tasted terrible? I'm guessing the best was the strawberry smoothie. Nothing really tasted terrible. I will say that the Seneca Creek episode that I was talking about earlier, we had hot pot. Well, this is a spoiler, but who cares? We had hot pot and we put in all sorts of stuff. I will say that whatever I ate in there both nights, like upset my stomach both times. I think I just ate too much, but man, at the end of it, I was just like, God, why did I just continually eat that and not stop? And I think it was partially because it was really cold and snowing. So you need something to like entertain yourself and make you think that you're not actually cold. But everything, usually turn out pretty well. That strawberry smoothie, I wouldn't say was the best thing that we've had. I think something Nicole made is probably the best stuff we had. Like those spud plugs she made, those were really good. Actually, I'll say that the stew in Algonquin when they put or Andrew put a bunch of seafood stuff in there too. If the seafood stuff wasn't in there, I would have liked that a lot more because it kind of overpowered everything else about the stew. And I was like, man, this is not as good. But yeah, everything was pretty good. How long do these streams usually last? Usually just an hour. So we're gonna stop at like 8. Uh, I loved watching your trip to China. Are you planning any trips outside of the US? To Canada in May, which I was talking about earlier. I'm going to visit Alexander, and I'm trying to turn that into like because I don't want to drive the whole 7 hours, so I'm thinking I'll go early and or like go leave a day or two ahead of time and go to some other places and like camp somewhere. And by I think I mean I'm definitely going to do that. I just haven't decided where yet. So oh, I can't spell or say this, but Worcestershire sauce really does it for me lately. Well, there's a vlog that we'll be releasing at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and it's the final vlog from the road trip. I condensed like 5 days into one. Well, I didn't really condense it. It was just I only filmed a little bit from each day, so it only made one video. Uh, that has a drink that has Worcestershire sauce, and Andrew drank it. Or we all tried it, but for some reason he ordered it. He likes those really weird things. It actually wasn't terrible. It was a really weird drink. It's because the junk food giants spending millions to chemically alter the taste to make it addicting. I mean, that is the reason why it tastes so good. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's like literal food scientists designing it to make it as good as possible. So, for the pizza party, you need to come back to West Virginia and eat at Pies and Pints again. Oh, right. Pies and Pints. I forgot we went to that was a Nicole episode, actually. For I think April was asking who Nicole is. Whatever episode we went to Pies and Pints, that was Nicole. Those were good pizzas and good beer too. Had like Paddington Bear or something. That was the name of the beer that I got. And it had like this thing in it that you put it upside down and it somehow aerates the beer. It's good. Nothing says delicious campfire food like flipping seafood stew, Andrew. Andrew, let me tell you guys a secret about Andrew. He will readily admit this, but literally every food that he tries, he doesn't say it's okay. He says it's good. So if he ever tells you something's good, you have to take that with a grain of salt. It may be good, but there's no gradation with him. Like his the worst food he's ever had is right here, and the best food he's ever had is right here, and everything else is right here. Whereas a normal person, like this is the worst food, this is the best food, and then normal stuff's like kind of wavy inside. And it's just like a straight line when it comes to food. When you stream on Twitch again, keep meaning to check it out. I stream at 9 in the morning, so it's usually right after I eat breakfast. I'll stream until like from 9 until like 10:30 or 11. It's a really good group of like 10 people who watch it every day. It's pretty fun. So if you want to join, feel free. But I totally get if you can't at 9 Eastern. That's kind of a strange time. It's just like the one time that's most convenient for me. So I might change that in the future, but right now. So was the drink a Bloody Mary? No, it was like a minchelada or something. Yeah, something like that. I thought he was saying enchilada, but I don't think it was enchilada. It was like minchelada. I don't know. It was in Texas. So, did you bring your Switch with you on the road trip? What is your all-time favorite handheld video game console? All-time favorite handheld video game console is the Game Boy Advance SP, the second edition that they made with the bright back screen. I still have it. In fact, it's in the garage right now, but that's my favorite by far. Just such a perfect form factor. Had so many great games on there. It had one of my favorite RPGs of all time, Final Fantasy VI. Just like if I could only take one handheld console for the rest of my life, it would definitely be that one. Did I bring my Switch with me on the road trip? I did. I played it exactly one time. It was when we stayed at one of my friends' houses. We all played Mario Kart for like 10 minutes. That's the only time I touched the Switch. For one thing, we didn't have any time. And then when we were in the car and I was bored, I just don't like playing video games when I'm bored or not feeling that great. Like I don't want to get into the game. There's not like enough ability to concentrate. I like having a nice screen and like nice environment, good temperature. Just I can't really play portable games. It's kind of weird. I like the concept of the Switch, but whenever it comes down to it, playing a portable game, I usually don't get too into it. New River Gorge episode was Pies and Pints. Okay, right. Did you all get to try Texas barbecue? We did not. We meant to, but when we were in Austin, we ran out of time. And going to the one place that everybody recommended to us, which I can't remember the name of it now, would have taken too long, and we still needed to drive to Houston that night. So we went to a Tex-Mex place with the State Parkers. It was still really good, but it was definitely no barbecue. That's where we had the enchilada drink or whatever it's called. Any plans to go back to writing all original music for every episode? Yeah, this coming episode is going to have all original music. In fact, the only reason we did it last episode is because I was just not feeling it, so I reused a couple of songs for the last episode. But this one have all original, and my ability to write new music has been a lot more flowing lately than it was the last one. The last one, man, I was just like, in fact, the last two. Writing music is by far the hardest part for me. It's not so much that it's like necessarily difficult. It's just you really have to sit down. No, I guess it is difficult. You have to sit down there and you have to just keep plucking away at it until you get something. And it's so long before you make any progress. Like sometimes I'll be sitting at the keyboard for like 30 minutes before I've come up with anything. I'm just like tinkering around, can't find a good sound I like, can't find a good instrument in my stupid program that I've used every sound a million times. So sometimes I struggle, but lately it has been much better. This one will have all original music. When you make a finger gun, how many barrels does it have? Just one. If you're talking about this is how I make a finger gun. Although sometimes I like to point with two fingers because it's funny. And there was a dude, I think it's a Hong Kong comic. Yeah. Old Master Q. Hilarious. It's like a 4-panel comic. You don't even need to speak Chinese to check it out, or to read it. But the dude in there is always pointing with two fingers, and I just thought that was the funniest thing when I first saw it. So there is a drink, and I don't know specifically where else they do this, but it was a regional delicacy in Alberta where they pour a Bud Light into a glass of Clamato. Gross. So that's the thing that Andrew had on the rafting trip. He's for some reason totally into that type of weird stuff. So it's, what did they call it? A colada or something? Sounds like chelating like metals from your blood or something. I don't know. It's not, or maybe it was just Clamato. No, because Clamato and Bud Light. Yeah, but they had like a pre-made can that had Michelada. Okay, yeah, or Michelada. Yeah, you guys. I'm assuming it's Michelada, but yeah, it's weird. You mean a Michelada, common Mexican spicy Clamato drink? I'm Mexican. Yes. Okay, that is what it was then. That sounds like what it was. Just reading about tomatoes and clam juice. How excited are you to play Overcooked again? That is directly proportional to whether or not you have continued to play without me. If you left off at the same place that we left off and you haven't played past there, I'm very excited. If you finished the game and you already know all the solutions and stuff, well, not the solutions, but if you already finished it, then no, not excited. We'll have to find something else. Okay, well, you've not finished at all. Okay, perfect. Good Mythical Morning put a Bud Light into a filter and it turned into Super Bud Light. Yeah, that would double filtered. Going for a one-nighter up Yosemite Falls in June. Can't wait. That Yosemite Falls is awesome, man. I loved it. If you can find that campsite that we had, it should be very obvious where it is. It's just like right off the trail and you'll see it, but you can stay there. Highly recommended. Was there ever a time where you got nervous because of weather conditions or environment during an episode that might not have made filming? Uh, Well, I would say Seneca Creek was maybe this past one that we did was the one that I felt the most uncomfortable at first because there was right at the beginning of the trail, there was this really big stream that it looked like it was going to be uncrossable. But for some reason, Brian and Andrew, they had these really heavy duty, like waterproof, like fishing boots, those kind that like go up to your knees and can go through anything. I think their brother-in-law, he works for some company that does those shoes, and they got those shoes. So they had 2 pairs of them. We didn't think we were gonna need them at first, and it's funny that they brought them, like, that they had the weird coincidence to bring them, and we ended up really needing them, so we had 2 of them. We got to that crossing, we crossed it, and we weren't sure how many more crossings there were gonna be like that. It turns out there was only 1 or 2 more, so it was no problem. But when we first got to that thing, I was like, "Man, I don't know, because it's snowing really hard. It was really cold. You can't get your feet wet when it's that cold because you need them to be dry. Otherwise, you can get like frostbite, all that stuff." But that's the most recent example. But that makes it into the episode, so you'll see that. We're usually pretty open about any trepidations we have when we're camping. Nothing. The only other thing that's coming to mind is the Allegheny witch, but that was just a bunch of sticks on the ground and us being freaked out. That wasn't exactly the weather or environment, you know. Uptrail 71, welcome. And welcome to everybody else who I haven't said welcome to yet. Thank you for joining. Who's into cryptos? Do you have any Litecoin? I will never do any of those Bitcoin things, and not because I think it's stupid. I do think it's stupid that they raised graphics card prices for a long time, but those seem to be going back down, which is nice because I wanted to get a 1080 when I actually had some money. I don't have any money right now, so I'm not going to get it anyway. But at the time, I wasn't able to because it was so expensive. But the reason I won't get into it is because I don't even want to get into the game, because if I make a bunch of money, that'd be awesome. But every other situation would just be me regretting that I didn't sell at a certain time, or that I bought too much and now I'm not making any money. If I bought Bitcoin like 10 years ago and just bought like $500 worth of Bitcoin and now I cashed out, I mean, that'd be great. But it's like you can't know. It tricks you into thinking that you made a mistake when it's like you could never have known that it would take off. And so I'm just like, I'm not going to play that game. I'm just going to let that be a thing. My life was perfectly fine before I knew about the existence of that stuff. So that's why I'm staying away from it, because I will get too depressed if I miss out, stuff like that. Do you guys bring a compass or GPS? Most of the time, it just looks like you look at the maps and know where to go. We do have a compass, and Andrew has a compass, and we sometimes use it just to make sure we're on the right track. But there's always the trails are always well marked, and we're always sticking to a trail. Like the only time we go off trail is like very specific instances, like in the second episode we ever did. I think that's the last time we did it, like first and last time. No, I think we maybe did it before too. But in general, it's like we just stick to the trail, so you don't really need it. How excited are you about the Han Solo movie? I wonder if we'll see a young Greedo. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Dude, a young Greedo would be so awesome. Greedo is such a pathetic scoundrel. That'd be great. I'm pretty excited. In fact, when is that coming out? Han Solo movie. Reason I'm asking is because, okay, tell me when it comes out. I need a release date. Oh, May 25th. May 25th. The reason I was wondering is because I'm going to be at Alexander's house, and I'm going to force him to watch it because I don't think he's into Star Wars. Did I like Rogue One? I'm excited about it. As far as Solo, I'm excited about it. I'm still cautiously optimistic. I have no expectations for it, so if it's anything above crappy, I'll be happy with it. Did you like Rogue One? I did like Rogue One. I liked all the Star Wars movies that they've released since Force Awakens. So I guess that's 3 of them. But yeah, I think they've all been pretty good so far. I really like the car footage of the hills going by in the distance. I think it was in the last episode where it rained. Could watch that footage for hours. Yeah, it's funny. During the car or the road trip, we took so much footage of like the scenery as we were driving by. And that's great. And we'll find a way to make it useful. But in all likelihood, it's just going to be that we have a ton of footage that we have absolutely no use for. It looks cool, but like you only need a couple of those shots. But we'll see. Do you guys still use a spot GPS locator on your trips? Yeah, we use that to keep I think those emails go to Andrew's mom and Thomas's mom. Mm, I don't think it goes to either of my parents, but I know that one of them will contact my parents if need be. But yeah, we do that when they send out signals every night and every morning. If somebody donated $50,000 to Adventure Archives to hike the Appalachian Trail, would you do it? Yes, I would. Yeah, I absolutely would. You talked a lot in the past about how you wish you were tougher, had a better constitution, etc. Would you say that you have become a tougher person since you started backpacking as a hobby? I would say no, but not because backpacking is not something that would make you tougher or give you a better constitution, but just because when I started backpacking as a serious, not as a serious hobby, but much more often, when I started backpacking much more often, I had stopped playing basketball. And basketball was the thing that like really kept me in shape and felt like I had like a really good constitution. Well, maybe not such a good constitution, but I was really in shape when I played basketball all the time. Uh, so just since I started backpacking, I stopped playing basketball. So I think that has made it decline the most. But lately, I feel like I've been really in good shape and have a pretty good constitution. And I attribute that mostly to getting the triangle of diet, exercise, and sleep all going at the same time. It's like you always get one or two of those right at any given time. But if you can get all three at the same time, it's just like, phew, like when I go to bed before midnight, well, there's so many, they each like play on each other. If I've exercised that day, then I feel I'm hungry, right? So then I can eat like a good nutritious meal. And if I eat that nutritious meal before sunset, then I will actually be able to fall asleep at a reasonable hour. If I fall asleep at a reasonable hour, I can get a good night's sleep. I wake up the next day, I have energy to exercise. So each one leads into the other. And if you can get those leading into the other, or one into the other, you feel better and better. So just the past week or two, since I got back from the road trip, I've been really on point with all of those things for the most part, and it's made a huge difference. Have you made kimchi yet? Sadly, I have not. Part of the reason though is because I have so much leftover sauerkraut, or the last batch I made was so much, and I've been eating less of it than I used to. Like I used to just eat that thing like crazy. But now I just eat it as kind of like a little touch, so it's lasting a lot longer. Uh, not Amon, welcome. Thank you for the welcome home. I still have not tried your coffee yet. So Amon was one of the people who came out to the meetup. He gave us some beers. We drank those beers; those were fantastic. And then he also gave me some coffee that is sitting in my pantry, but I have not eaten it yet or drank. I was gonna say drinking. Hey, Blinken. Did you just say, hey, Blinken? I've not drank it yet, but I will at some point. I'm on that no coffee kick right now. No coffee, no alcohol, no sugar kick right now. It's going pretty well. Not sure if we will have time to catch it, Robby. There's so much grass growing in my backyard. It's not just gonna watch itself. We're going to see Solo, whether you like it or not. I hope you realize that. Whether a decision was bad or good is not based upon the outcome, but based on what you knew at the time and what you did in that moment. Read what you said about Bitcoin. Hold on, I got to read that again. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like you can't know what the future is going to be, so you just have to make the best decision you can. And like just as far as Bitcoin, I don't. The reason why I'm totally not even getting into it is because my life was perfectly fine before it, and I don't want to have to live with a good or bad decision, whether the decision's good or bad. Uh, okay, so yes, I did see the dedicated RAM thing from the Minecraft convention. I didn't find it particularly funny because that kid was asking a very earnest question, and he was clear that he was nervous and had a speech impediment. So I try not to laugh at people when it's something out of their control, but I am aware of the meme now. Since you've done Zumba for so long and are highly active, have you ever considered taking a martial art? I have, but never seriously, partially because I don't want to pay money for martial arts classes, but I think it'd be really fun. Did you consume much sugar on the road trip? Way more than I should have. Definitely did. It was funny because when I stopped eating sugar in like 2014, I stopped for like 2 years, didn't touch any of it. And then lately, like in the past 6 months or so, I've let that get a lot more lax. But I'm kind of like back on the I can't do this. Are you going to look for morel mushrooms this season? I'm not, but I wonder if Andrew is. And if he is, we'll definitely try to make a video. But in fact, I don't even know if he has ever like specifically hunted morels. I know sometimes he'll go out and just hunt random mushrooms. I could eat coffee beans actually. I've told this story before, I'm sure, but when I was like maybe in middle school, my cousin, it was me, Brian, and maybe Andrew was there. I don't think Andrew was there. Maybe it was just me and Brian. He was forced to take us on a date. Well, he was going on a date and he was forced to take us with him on this date. And in Midland, Michigan, if you guys have ever been there, there is only, well, at least at the time, there's only one thing to do, which is go to the coffee shop downtown. That was the only thing they had. And they had this little vending machine where you put in a quarter and you get a chocolate covered coffee bean. And I ate like 8 or 10 of them. So not only was I an annoying kid in middle school and with an express intent to annoy him on his date, but now I was hopped up on chocolate and coffee beans, and they were delicious. Chris, what's up, man? You ever crash a drone? I sure have. I have crashed the very drone that you have used before. I crashed it right after I got it. I crashed it all the time into this one tree. It was this park outside my house, and I would fly it around there, just whipping it around all over the place. And I crashed in that tree a couple times. It didn't seem like a big deal though. So, Thomas Majetti, welcome, welcome. You can go see it solo. Oh man, that is a clever joke. I'd say Bitcoin was an objectively bad choice for everyone. People just got lucky. I could believe that. I got to ask him about it because he definitely had Bitcoin at one point, and he also has a bunch of Google shares. Like one of my friends, but I only heard that secondhand. I don't remember him ever saying that specifically, so I don't know if that's true, but I'll ask him about it at some point. Serena, people say that about basketball. Write the story when the ball is in the air. I assume that was talking about decision making. Okay. Oh, I almost closed the stream. 43 minutes in. What on earth is this meme that you're linking? Oh, you're just linking back to the last chat. I don't know what you're talking about. Why don't you have proper speaker stands for your monitors? I laugh every time I see them stacked on cardboard boxes. The main thing is like, I can't justify. I mean, I totally can because I waste my money on so many things all the time. I can't justify spending money on a speaker stand when these do the job like perfectly. It's possible that they're changing the sound a little bit, but I don't think cardboard's very conductive, like as far as sound goes. So I don't think or resonant. So I don't think it's a big issue. But there is a viewer. His name is Mercuria. I think that's his username. He has offered to buy me speaker stands. And I think it's just because he doesn't want to look at the crappy cardboard stands I have. He told me to just look on Amazon and find some good ones. But I haven't found ones I've liked yet, so I haven't gotten those. But yeah, maybe one day. But actually, these boxes are coming with me to the new place. So if you knew it was ethically sourced and prepared by an expert, would you eat dog? It's so hypocritical because like my first instinct is to say, no, I want to eat a dog. But I mean, I eat so many other animals. Like, is it really that much of a difference? The thing is, the dogs are like so friendly and like they want to play with you. It's not like other animals that kind of just like they tolerate you. But I mean, I've never befriended a cow, so maybe cows would. Yeah, it's hypocritical, but no, I probably wouldn't. But no, maybe if somebody just had already cooked the dog, if the dog was already cooked and they were already eating it, whether it was ethically prepared and sourced or not, if they said, "Hey, do you want some of this dog?" I would try it because I would want to know what it was like. But um, yeah, it's hypocritical, and I don't have a good explanation for why I wouldn't. But yeah, what's your favorite Genesis game? Probably Sonic the Hedgehog 1, just because the music is so good, and I have that's probably the one I've spent the most time playing. Other honorable mentions would be that X-Men game that I always played at Sears. I don't know which one that was called, but that was a good one. Altered Beast, that's actually not a good game. Now, if I play it, I'm like, "Ooh, this is not a good game." But at the time, it was so exciting. It was like, "Oh man, you could turn into a beast," and it's very exciting. During Mount Whitney, you and Thomas made mention that when you reach the top, the fanfare at the end is not as intense as you might have expected at the bottom. Do you find most trips like this? Yeah, especially any trip where you're going to a peak or a summit. The getting to the top is always just like an afterthought. It's kind of like, well, that was good. So like if I'm not, I mean, it's fortunate because I don't really put all of my eggs into the basket of, oh man, once I get to the top, my life's going to be complete. I do that with other things, and maybe not so much anymore, but I certainly have done that many times in my life. So if I did do that with a trip, then I would always be like sad that I reached the top because it's like, man, that's it. But trips in general, because they're usually loops and there's no like summit that we're going to, I'm not even in that mindset of expecting some specific thing about it to make me happy. So I don't find most trips, or uh, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think about trips in that way unless there's a summit to get to. If that makes any sense. Oh, it was for anyone who missed the. Okay, yeah. So last week during the stream, I accidentally mimicked the meme without knowing that I did. Jason, yes, somebody did say, but you probably already knew that because I just said it. When are you moving? Like the third week in April. It's like May 18th or something. Not the third week in April. The third week in May. So like in another 2.5 weeks or so. It's really not a big deal. It's really down the street. It's good. Like vlog is the house layout is even pretty much the same. So for somebody who misses that portion, they're probably going to be like, "Man, did you like redo your kitchen?" But everything else is still the same. It's going to be weird. This whole neighborhood, all the houses are very similar. Beefs are friendly too. Okay, I'm gonna tell this story again. We went to Halo tournament, and it was hosted by this place called, oh, I can't remember what it's called. McVan's Video Games. Weird name, but anyway, they had a Halo tournament. We piled in, I think it was 10 people, me and like 9 of my friends, or maybe it was 7, I don't remember. But my dad used to have this Previa van, Toyota Previa. We just packed that van to the guild. We went to the tournament. Afterwards, we were all hungry. On the way home, we went to an Arby's, go through the drive-through. I open the thing and I say to the drive-through person, I say, "Can I get 10 beefs?" And we all started dying laughing. And I think she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Can I get 10 roast beefs?" So I immediately chickened out, but it was great. Yeah, saying beefs is funny. No to dog. I don't even like eating kangaroo or anything other than cow, chicken, and lambs. I mean, I'll try weird stuff. Just dogs is just kind of weird. Like dogs are way too friendly, and we interact with them way too much. That's maybe if you want to get everybody to be vegetarian, you need to get animals more interacting with humans. Because I guarantee you, if I interacted with cows every day and pigs every day, it would be much harder to eat them. I've had emu, alligator, rabbit, not that tasty. I had alligator recently, and it's kind of like a greasier chicken with a little more texture and flavor. In fact, I thought it was better than chicken. I'm not a big fan of chicken. I don't like it at all, actually. It's very boring. Wind Waker or Ocarina of Time? Definitely. Ooh. Yeah, definitely Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time is like my favorite game of all time. And so one game that I would take if I could only take one game for the rest of my life. How does your mom like her Prius? I'm considering. She likes it a lot. and she can get like 50 miles per gallon, which is fantastic. The only problem is that her fuel tank was broken for a while and she kept running out of gas in the middle of the highway. And that happened to me. I don't know if you guys have seen that vlog, but uh, that wasn't ideal, but she got it fixed. What made you decide to become a filmmaker? Well, there wasn't like a hard cutoff point, and like even like my current career of a freelance video maker, that wasn't a hard cutoff point. Anyways, it's very gradual from working on at the Zumba studio into doing what I'm doing now. But the first time I was interested in film was in ninth grade. My English class, the my English teacher, he was also the video production teacher. So for one of the projects in the English class, he had everybody make a video. We made a video called White Men Can Jump, and it was like this dumb bass. I have to have a copy of it somewhere. I don't know if I can still look at it without dying of embarrassment, but we made that video, and such a dumb name too. Uh, that we made that video, and after that, I was like, "Oh man, dude, we can make videos, no problem." So all you have to do is import it in your computer and edit it. So then the first video we made after that was just for fun. Me and my friends, we made a Metal Gear fan movie. That I definitely still have. That I need to get uploaded on the channel at some point because it's hilarious. But the excitement we felt after making that was enough to like make me love making videos ever since then. And I don't know if I've told this before, but Adventure Archives basically just stems from making home videos of our like I would make like these 5 to 10 minute videos called good times videos of pictures and videos from our trips that we've gone on. And I would turn those into like little home movies basically. These are actually pretty similar to Adventure Archives when you really think about it. Just Adventure Archives is watchable for people who aren't the people in the pictures also. But that's the first thing that got me into videos was that English class in ninth grade. Ever since then, I've continually made videos, even if I dropped off for a while. Like most of college, I barely made any videos, but I've always been interested in it. Ooh, okay. Hello from Brunswick, Maine. Thank you, Luke. Do you find some trips less enjoyable when you're trying to film everything and get cool angles rather than just experiencing them for yourself? I don't know when I made this comparison, but filming for or going on a trip while having to film is like going on vacation with kids. The vacation is still fun. It's just you have to babysit kids. So in the same way, it's still fun. It's still a great trip, but you do have to keep in mind, like, oh, am I filming stuff? Am I doing the proper stuff that I need to actually make an episode? Whereas if you go vacationing by yourself and you don't have to worry about kids, you can drink whenever you want to, you can go do whatever you want to, you can stay out as late as you want to, all this stuff. And you don't have to entertain them, you don't have to make sure they're fed. You just worry about yourself and whoever you're with, right? And everybody's basically taking care of themselves. That being said, I do want to know what it's like to go backpacking without filming because I haven't done it in 25 trips. So the next backpacking, in fact, I'm gonna have to stick to that because I know I could easily just forget about it and just go film a trip anyway. But the next trip that we do, I really think we should just go on a trip and not film it, not worry about making an episode, not do a vlog, nothing. Just go do a trip so we can remember what it's like to just go backpacking, enjoy the outdoors, and enjoy each other's company without thinking about anything. Uh, Summoning Whitney will be better when time goes by as it will be nostalgic for you. Actually, I had that experience when we went back to Whitney. We went to Lone Pine just at the foot of the mountain. It was very nostalgic. I was like, "Oh man, I'm really glad that we went up there because just looking at it up in the distance, I was like, yeah, we climbed that. Somehow we did that, and I could like look back on it and enjoy the fact that we did it, but I also didn't have to climb it. It was great. Why are Kansas and Arkansas pronounced differently? Mm, that is a really good question. Arkansas. Arkansas. Yeah, I think Arkansas should just be Arkansas now. Because can't Arkansas, because then Kansas would be Kansas if you made it like the other one. I don't know. How do you feel that so many games nowadays have totally ditched split screen gameplay? I haven't thought too much about it, but I will say, isn't it interesting that now the fact that we have these, it's so funny because in the past, like just when I was like growing up as a teenager, people would be like, "Oh, kids these days they watch too much TV. They, they should go outside and play or whatever." Either I'm becoming an old man or we're actually getting progressively worse because at least with TV, everybody was watching the same thing. Everybody was having like a shared experience. And now each person can have their own experience, even if they're sitting in the room with other people. After this road trip, man, like I have never felt more of a frustration and disdain for cell phones in my life. Like losing the people that you're with to a cell phone is literally my least favorite feeling. I hate that so much when I'm in a room and then just somebody whips out their cell phone and just starts playing on it. And it's like, look, if you don't want to be around me, that's totally cool. But just don't be around me then. Like, what are we even doing the road trip if we're just going to all be on our cell phones looking at these, not experiencing this environment together and commenting on it together? It was so frustrating, man. Like that. In fact, that was my biggest frustration with the road trip was just cell phones in general. And it's like, I'm not trying to say that I don't do it. I totally do it too. These things are powerful and you can't stop looking at them, but God, I hate it. Sorry. That's a little tangent. Okay. Let me just make sure everything's still working. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, but I will say too that the computer in our kitchen has been fantastic. My mom and I will watch YouTube videos together, or sometimes she'll be watching something in the kitchen. I'll walk into the room and I'll just start watching for a second. She'll tell me about whatever Mary Queen of Scots and how this brother like betrayed that king and somebody was a duke and a viscount, and it was really funny. Any advice for traveling to Toronto slash Algonquin? My girlfriend and I were inspired by the AA video to take a trip there in September and canoe camp. I don't have any specific advice because I don't do the planning, so I can't help you with the planning. But I'm sure if you need help planning anything, then Thomas could definitely help you out because in fact, I can get in touch with Thomas and figure out how he planned everything. I assume he was the one who planned it. Uh, but I definitely canoe. It was fantastic. Um, yeah, I don't have any good advice. Planning is like it's something I can do, but it's something I really don't like doing, so I always leave it to somebody else to do. So I don't have good advice for that, but you'll love it. Don't worry about it. Just go there and then you'll have a great time. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting really behind on chat here. Let's catch up a little bit. Is it better to have a wag bag or digging a hole to go number 2? Definitely digging a hole. You don't want to carry around your own poop. It does not seal very well in those bags either. No eating cats either, or I'll find you and put Lego in your eyes. I've never had cat either. Ocarina was the one game that I got emotional when I finished. I played that game when I was in. Well, I guess I did get emotional. It wasn't like tears, but it was like such a sense of accomplishment, you know? I turn away from the mic when I need to breathe. That is a deep cut. That is a super deep cut. That's the origins of YouTube. Are you a Cavs fan? I am not a Cavs fan, but they did beat the Pacers, so good for them. I'm not any basketball team fan. My brother might be. I don't know. Will you be streaming the new God of War? Actually, it's right here. I rented it from Redbox, and I actually have to return that after the stream. But no, probably not. Usually I want to play like games that I've played for the first time on my own without having to make any commentary or be distracted. This game I was hoping to be able to finish in like 3 days, but after playing it and seeing how much I like the story, I want to take my time with it, so I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to return it, and then at some point I'll actually buy it. So Timezone day. You remember a couple of you were stranded without gas when you're driving the Prius. Yeah, the Prius, when we thought it was just something like badly designed with the Prius that the fuel indicator didn't come on early enough. But it turns out the fuel thing was actually broken. Calvin Swag, hello. I'm 19 years old. I'm really interested in starting YouTube. Any tips? My biggest tip is if you don't have something that's marketable, like a vlog, just do it because you like doing it and work on perfecting your craft. Because marketing yourself and actually getting views is a whole job on top of itself. And for me, I'm not willing to put forth the effort to actually do that. If I did, I could probably get a lot more subscribers and views. But it's just, man, it sounds just so terrible to me to do that that I don't actually do it. So my number one thing is always make what you like making. And if you don't enjoy the process, find something that you actually enjoy about the process because otherwise, why are you even doing it? You know, like a lot of times I'll see people who want to start YouTube channels, but they don't even know what they want to make. I'm like, well, then why are you starting a YouTube channel? Like you should be doing things that you want to do, not things that will get you results. That being said, well, not that being said, if you have something that is marketable or that is like a niche that people would look for, like backpacking videos, like we did for Adventure Archives, just the advice then is do the bare minimum of marketing so that you can actually get some views, but focus again on the actual content itself. Because that's my big thing. Like, I mean, that's easy for me to say because I've been able to make money from videos that I've made and I get enough freelance work that I can support myself and all that stuff. It's easy enough for me to say, just focus on doing the thing that you like doing. But that's also never really led me astray as far as the things that I've wanted to do. You don't get exactly rich from doing that, but you do get to do the thing that you want to do. So, like when I started the Zumba studio, I started that because I wanted to teach Zumba classes. I got to teach a ton of Zumba classes. It was very fun. Got to do all the stuff I wanted to do. Just a problem running a business as well was too much, but I still got to do what I wanted to do. And that started with following what was my interest. And the same thing with the videos. The reason we made Adventure Archives in the first place is because we wanted to see that and we thought it would be cool. And it has had a modicum of success. And that's all based on just the fact that we pursued what interested us. That's my particular take on it. I'm pretty sure lots of people, especially the older generation, will tell you to be realistic and don't pursue what interests you. But that's because they're trying to, I feel like they're trying to, what's the word? Recruit you into their misery where they have given up on something and they're just like, well, I gave up on it and I've got a job that keeps me alive and fed. So you should do the same. I will not do that. Kind of feel like that was a rambling answer. Hopefully that made some sense. I've seen your Putty Men videos. So funny. It's healthy to see you goof around. Yeah, those Putty Men videos are pretty funny. Those suits are hilarious. How many extra miles could you do per day if you didn't need to worry about filming? Me personally, I could easily do 10 miles a day. Like 10 miles a day would be nothing. Filming, it's just like you don't even think about how many miles you can do when you're filming because the number one most important thing is to film. It's not to get miles. But especially if I weren't filming, I would want to get more miles because I would just be bored. Okay, I got to get caught up on the stream because I feel like I'm missing stuff here and I can't react to the stream quickly. When are you doing Glacier National Park? That will happen eventually, I'm sure. Come back up north with me for a backpacking trip. I'll do the filming. That's not a bad idea. I go to Up Trail 71, do some picture rocks. That'd be great. Okay, where Giraffe was talking about some split screen. I played some Helldivers. Helldivers was really hard because there's so much friendly fire. I just felt like I died all the time. Why do you drive in a parkway and park in a driveway? That is another good question. What's more aggravating, really having to pee in a public place and there's a lineup or having to buy the wireless headphones for the iPhone? Oh, probably having to pee in a public place because if there was no such thing as civilization, you wouldn't have to go to a bathroom to pee. You could just pee on the ground. But because there's concrete and everything, it's kind of hard. The wireless headphones for the iPhone, once you give in and you have AirPods, oh my God, AirPods are the best thing ever. Like when it comes to headphones, I cannot tell you how many times I've been wearing the wired headphones and then they rip out of my ear because the wire gets caught on something. Ow. But the AirPods are great. If you guys don't know the story, told my mom if she cleaned up her half of the garage, I would give her my AirPods. So now they're her AirPods, and I borrow them every now and then. I recall watching an old airsoft video you guys made and couldn't find it when I went back to look for it. Was that a thing? That was definitely a thing. We probably removed it or it's somewhere else, but I can find it or re-upload it. I think I should still have a copy of it somewhere, but yeah, I'll look for it. Hey, please say hello to my girlfriend Magda. Hello, Magda. I'm curious if her full name is Magdalena because I knew somebody named Magdalena. I need to pee to AFK or not to AFK. I mean, you can just take your phone with you. Any chance we can know the entire contents of the Smoky Mountains letter you almost read on camera? Did I not read it on camera? I thought I read the whole thing on camera. I don't have it anymore. I think Andrew might have the letter, but if he does, we can totally read it. I don't think there was anything on there that we couldn't say. You could change the year you were born to one of the following: 1946, 1798, or 22,000 BC. Which one? Definitely not 1946. Probably not 1798 because I'd probably be like a slave or in poverty. 22,000 BC, I feel like I have the best chance because it's like you've got hunter gatherers and it's tribal knowledge. So it's just all you got to do is hunt for a meal and you'll probably die of a broken ankle or something. But that's what I would go with. The water would be all clean until you drink some Jardia. Are you on Instagram? I'm actually not on Instagram. I think I might have had an account at one point, but I never use it. So no, I'm not. How are the Texas donuts? And Clint really likes smoking, huh? Yeah. So that part, wait, are you guys talking about the same? I thought I hadn't posted that vlog yet. Maybe I have. There's a part where he's talking about how he's been smoking since 19 in the background. But maybe that was the same one. Yeah, it must have been the same one. The Texas donuts were good. Speaking of eating sugar, I ate most of those donuts. Are you going to put anything on that wall because it is barren? No. So if you guys missed it, we're moving into a new house. So these walls will remain barren until we move into the new place. Red Baron Pizza. I have a challenge for us if we do this stream the pizza party from here. What is the challenge? Because I would like to know. I heard the 60s was a blast. Oh, it was a musical renaissance in particular. What mic are you rocking? This is a Behringer. Sorry. XM 8500. It is the most. I've had this mic for literally 10 years now, and it is just like rock solid. It sounds perfectly fine. We used it for pretty much all of the narration for Adventure Archives. It's great. It's not particularly amazing, but I mean, it sounds really good. So, do the AirPods have a pluggy thing as well? My issue is that I like using headphones on a lot of my tech. I really CBF linking them up to everything. I'm assuming that means can't be effed, linking them up to everything each time. Yeah, they don't. It's only wireless, so I wouldn't get that if you want to use it for multiple stuff. Adventure Archives is indeed on Instagram. How hard is it for you and the others to synchronize doing full episodes? Oh, you mean getting like everybody synced up to actually be free at the same time? It's actually not that hard. So like once we actually put forth the effort to do it, the thing that's been in fact, the thing that always has held us up from getting super regular. Well, this year actually what's held us up from getting regular and like actually having a consistent schedule is that I got sick right after we started to get into the flow of a consistent schedule. So I was sick for like 2 weeks, so I couldn't go on an episode. That put everything behind. Then the road trip, we weren't ready to have everything ready to go and released before the road trip. So now we have a huge backlog. So the releases are going to be consistent for a little while. If we can keep up like actually going to film, then we can hopefully get on a really consistent schedule. We'll see. But yeah, the thing that causes the most delay is editing and writing music, and or writing music way more than editing. Editing, if it's just editing, get them out way faster. But writing the music takes a long time. It's really taxing. Watching any new anime recently? I actually just I watched like the first 17 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I love it. It's so funny. It's so creative. It's like right up my alley. But uh I stopped watching, and it turns out I was watching that in like 2014 or 2015. That's what my Crunchyroll account says. But I tried to watch it with the free version where you have to watch ads. I do not know how people put up with those ads. There's like 10 minutes of ads before every commercial break. I can't do it. So I have to get an account at some point to actually watch it. I did say recently, but I don't know if you guys heard it. I watched Devilman Crybaby. Superb. It's really violent and may not be for everybody, but as far as like music, excitement, animation, interesting story, it's fantastic. I've plateaued on Operation Dad Bod Loss 2018. If I am not under 200 by the time you get here, I have to eat salad while you chow delicious pizza. If I succeed, you have to be drunk on Canadian beer. I mean, that seems like a win-win to me. Like either way, I get to drink beer and eat pizza. So, but I'm rooting for you, man. I want you to get under 200 pounds by the time I get there. I think you can do it. Would you ever consider moving to a more outdoorsy state like Oregon, or Cali? Indiana doesn't offer too much options. I have considered it. I just haven't put forth any effort or thought into it. It's just been like a random thought in my mind. At some point, maybe I'll actually think about that. But right now, like I'm really enjoying like my current life setup. I get to live in a nice, comfortable place, super quiet. I have space to do all my editing, and then I can go travel wherever I want, whenever I want. I don't have any people who are dependent on me to make money. I kind of want just for a little while to not change anything. So, what do you all do for a living? This is like one of our most asked questions. We should put this in the frequently asked questions, but I do freelance video for a living. And then I also occasionally teach Zumba classes, but that's like $20 a class, and I teach 4 classes a month. So it's just like a little bit of side change. But yeah, videos is my main form of income now. And Brian works for some company. Thomas just finished his job. He's going to be starting school in the winter. Andrew just finished school last year, and he also does some videos on the side. Is that when you got mono? I got mono in 2012. That was right after the Smokies. So I thought initially that I might have like one of it's like a tick disease or some type of terrible disease or something. But yeah. Okay, so Smelly Feet's message was deleted by Alexander. Thank you. I was about to read it and I was like, this seems like a weird message. Where are you moving? No creep. Oh, we're moving down the street. So we're not moving anywhere special. I'll be at the Mohican State Park in a few weeks meeting a few YouTube backing guys. If I remember correct, you guys did a video. Yes, we did. Let me know when you're going there because I, for one, could at least go there. Like, I don't know if the other guys would be able to make it, but I would totally be down to join you guys in that meetup. We went there in the winter and it was really cool. It's snowing everywhere. I've seen pictures and videos from that place when it's not in the winter and it looks completely different. It's weird how much different it looks. Last question. For someone looking to do something similar to AA, would you recommend the Sony A7S II for the go-to camera or something else now into 2018? It depends on how much experience you have with cameras. If you have a lot of experience with cameras, the Sony's fine. But especially if you're new to it, it's way too expensive and way too much of a hassle for somebody who's just getting into video. I would recommend, oh man, what camera? Like Well, that's a tough question because we had a Canon. I've always been really crazy about like pursuing the latest camera. At the time when we started, we had a Canon T3i. I was like, not exactly top of the line, but it was and now that I think about it, it wasn't even that expensive. It was $1,000, but it was a really nice camera at the time. And I was completely new to like actually using a DSLR for video. I'm just thinking because like you also don't want the Sony A7S because it's got terrible battery life and it's a terrible outdoors camera. It only works for us because we make it work, but it's a supreme hassle. So if you want like a good camera that's actually gonna like work with you, get like a Panasonic G7. I think those are like $700. Those have interchangeable lenses, so you can always change the way it looks and everything. I just wouldn't recommend the Sony at all. I think it's still like at least $2,500. Doesn't have a flip out screen, so you can't see what you're doing. Battery's terrible. It produces a fantastic looking image and it works really well when it's really dark outside. Don't put yourself through that for starting out. Don't do that to yourself. Get like Panasonic G7, $600. That's the one I usually recommend to people. Like A7S is just a real pain in the behind. YouTube Crunchyroll ads are poop in a wag bag. That is very accurate. I had YouTube Red for a while, right? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna save a little money. I could save $10 a month if I cancel my YouTube Red. I canceled my YouTube Red. That was the most painful 2 or 3 weeks of my life. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. If I'm going to continue to watch YouTube, I need YouTube Red. So I've had it ever since. DJ Gank, I need a mod so I can delete these trolls. I think Alex got it. But yeah, I got some trolls up in here. I love anime. Me and my friends are writing an anime. Oh, nice. I love the art style anime. I think that's what got me into it in the first place. You should check out RWBY on Rooster Teeth. I'm not a huge anime fan, but I do like this one. I think somebody's recommended that to me before, and I believe it's called Ruby, right? And this is not Red versus Blue, right? Because whenever I see RWBY, I always think Red versus Blue because it's Rooster Teeth, but I guess it's not. Thank you, Uptrail71. The RX100 would probably be all right. I haven't actually had personal experience with it. The thing is like after using a Sony for so long, I don't really trust Sony cameras to be that durable. So the RX100, I don't know. And plus, it doesn't have interchangeable lenses. So you can't really like build on it. But the RX100 will probably be fine. In fact, I was looking into the RX100 for myself just for vlogs because I want like a super low profile camera to use for vlogs when we're actually filming an episode because I want to have something I can actually fit into my pocket. The phone I can fit into my pocket. I could use it for vlogs, but I just hate the picture quality. It's just not good enough compared to what I'm used to. So I was thinking about getting one of those, but yeah, if you're gonna actually be filming with a tripod and everything, yeah, get like a nice DSLR, like a GX7 or G7 or whatever it is. G7, yeah, not GX7. GX7, I think, is the Canon one, and that's a totally different type of camera. You don't want that. Casual Tim joining late. Sorry if already covered. Was Angel's Landing terrifying? And were there more people there than you made it seem in the video? Angel's Landing wasn't terrifying, but it was definitely butt clenching. Like I never felt like I was actually in danger, but it is pretty amazing how you're just like it's a very sheer drop. So like if you fell, you're dead. And if you're not dead, then you've multiple broken bones. So but it was really cool. Were there more people than you made it seem in the video? You'll see from the actual episode, but there was a ton of people leading up to it. I didn't show any of that. The whole portion I showed was just once you get up to like the actual narrow narrow peak or whatever, but leading up to that it's all paved. I think it's like even handicap accessible because there's no stairs or anything. You could like totally get all the way up there, and there's even a part where it's like switch backing up and there's still no stairs. There was a lot more people then, but it still wasn't that crowded. Like there's plenty of times where we could get shots. It was me and Thomas together. We would be able to get tripod shots without people interrupting the flow of it. It was not at all like Vernal Falls when we were in Yosemite, where it was just like way too crowded. Thank you, DJ Genki. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated for the support. Oh, yeah, YouTube Red, you get Google Play Music, don't you? I never use it, but I probably should. Oh, Juan Carlos says, I kind of want to get YouTube Red for that new Cobra Kai show coming soon. That's so funny you should say that, because just last night I was watching a bunch of the videos from that. I'm actually very interested in watching that. I'm very curious how they'll go with portraying. Are they going to portray Ralph Macchio as like a bad guy, like that one video? That There's one YouTube video talking about Ralph Macchio as the real bad guy in that movie. I'm curious if they're going to do stuff like that, especially since he's a used car salesman. And like everybody, like nobody thinks highly of used car salesmen. I'm sure they're all perfectly nice people, but just the stereotype is like that they're not, right? So I'm curious about that. I use ad block, just not on your videos. There's certain sites, like any site that I want to specifically, or that I go to frequently, I turn off ad block, because if I'm going there all the time, I want the site to continue to exist. But when I'm just going to a random page or random website, a one-off, I will leave it. So I'll whitelist sites on AdBlock. I think that's like the most ethical way of using AdBlock. I think just using a blanket AdBlock, it's like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Does Adventure Archives have any sponsors? No sponsors. And if we did, you guys would know about it. And that's something, man, I've thought about it before, and I just don't want to have to get into that type of stuff. I would much rather just Patreon be big enough that that would be the ideal. If Patreon was just big enough, we didn't even have to think about getting sponsors or getting branded content. We haven't done any of that stuff. The only thing we've ever done is gotten free stuff from people that we either did a review on or just got free stuff, period. But we've never gotten paid to do anything. And I want to keep it that way, because it's just like, man, if there's anything people are more wary of nowadays, it's, oh man, you're a sellout. Oh man. And it's like, I totally get it, because I don't want to have to deal with any of that stuff. So that's why Patreon's such a godsend. You can actually just get money from people who really want to support it, and you don't have to do it in this roundabout way of using sponsored content, branded content. And then it's just like, it dilutes the message of the show too. The show is all about like getting back to simplicity and nature and stuff. If we started hawking stuff and being like, oh yeah, I drink chocolate malt or whatever that malk, that French joke was, whatever. How many states have you been to? I just counted that the other day, and I don't know. Maybe like 20. I've been to a lot of them. Bring Andrew with you. I need some plants ID'd in my forest. I can see if he wants to come at some point. I'm not driving with him, though. He can drive on his own. Just avoid Zion National Park during the peak season. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Zion is like super crowded. Do you use any filters on your DSLRs? We've only used it once, and that was in Algonquin. We used a really powerful ND filter on the 50 millimeter, so I could shoot at 1.8. We haven't really done that since, because I don't mind shooting at a really high shutter speed, but and I don't want to have to deal with like the color cast that ND filters use. So in general, no, we don't. What record player system are you looking at? Oh, I saw that comment. I hadn't responded to it yet. I haven't been looking at anything, but if you have suggestions, I would love to hear them. Once I get some side cash, I'm definitely going to be looking into that, because I really want to hear what that record sounds like, and if it actually sounds any different from a CD. But I also don't want to get a cheap record player, because then it's like, well, what's even the point of getting a really nice record if you don't have a nice record player to play it on? But I'm also not willing to spend like $200 on it right now. But if you've got something, let me know. I use ad block, but only on your videos. That'd be really funny if somebody was like specifically ad blocking and then just like had our playlist on loop. And I was like, man, I'm gonna get them all these views, and they're not gonna get a single dime from it. Have you watched the show Rock the Park? I think you'd enjoy it. No, I've actually never heard of it. Is that like national parks and stuff? I always have ad block on, but I'm a Patreon member. Oh, that's way better. Like, I would much rather you be a Patreon member than turn off ad. I mean, if you're only going to do one, I would choose be a Patreon person than ad block. So Malk now with more vitamin R. Yeah, exactly. Lanny Mon, welcome. It's going great. You've actually come right at the end of the stream. I think I'm going to cut it off at 8:30 tonight, guys. My legs are getting tired. I've been standing up for a while. What time is it, by the way? Not what time is it. What time is sunset tonight? I'm on that finish eating before sunset kick. It's going pretty well. Oh man, I've only got like 20 minutes. You guys planning on lightening your carry loads? Me specifically, no, not right now. I've lightened it as much as I am willing to spend on it right now. The biggest thing I could do is get a lighter backpack. My backpack's like 6 pounds. If I got like a 2-pound backpack, that'd be 4 pounds right there. And then I could also get a lighter sleeping pad. But both of those things, I'm not really, I don't want to spend the money. It's light enough now, like especially with the new tents I got and the new sleeping bag. Those two things together have lightened it enough where it's actually manageable. So I don't feel like every time we're out there, I'm like dying. So it's good enough for me as it is right now. You reckon there will ever be a time when you can transition to Patreon only? Is that the ideal? That is the ideal, and I do reckon. I feel like it's possible, man. I don't know what the exact number would be. But yeah, that's the goal. I mean, we'll just see how it goes. But right now, it's like it's at the point where it can pay for itself. So like nobody ever has to spend money on a trip. Like we can pay for food, pay for gas, all that stuff. And it's not expensive, right? Like all that stuff's no problem. At some point, like if we made like double what we were making now, which is I still think feasible, we could probably all do it full time. But yeah, that's the ideal. Because I would love to because then it's like it's totally in the hands of the people who want to watch your videos, whether you make it or break it. And it's not in the hands of like YouTube and the algorithm. And are we going to get enough ad money? I mean, we don't even get enough ad money. That's YouTube ad money isn't close for somebody with only 50,000 subscribers who makes a video at most once a week. There's no way you could survive on ads alone. Now, if we were a vlog channel that had it was releasing every day and had 50,000 subscribers, that would be a healthy living. It would definitely be a healthy living. But yeah, the goal is to get Patreon only. When is the next AA video coming? Early release will be on May 14th. We have not announced that anywhere, but we just decided that today. That will be more than manageable. We might even be able to get it out earlier than that. If we do get it out earlier, it'll be notified. You'll be notified on Patreon, but we won't do like the public release trailer until probably the 14th. Okay. It's like 1:20 a.m. here in the UK. Oh, you got to join on Thursday, man. Thursday, I'll be doing it'll be 7 p.m. your time. So you won't have to stay up so late. Of course, then maybe you're at work and then you can't even watch it. So, oh well, I guess I'll be going through the archive later then. Yeah, well, okay. Well, it's at least you could join at the end. I always wondered in AA videos, how do you keep fresh meat from going bad on your trips? So any meat that we have on the trip, it's because we eat it right at the beginning. So it's usually in a cooler, like in Algonquin when we had steak, we had it in a cooler. So we just had it right away. Although, didn't we have the stew? The stew had meat in it. No, the stew had the seafood stuff. That was canned seafood. And like hot dogs and stuff, those aren't going to go bad. But yeah, like fresh meat. Every time I read fresh meat, I hear pudgy pudge. I don't know what that's from. But yeah, it's just we try to keep it cool and we eat it right away. So going to double my Patreon amount. Be right back. Alex, allow me to remind you that I was a Devil's Bench patron and I still have not gotten my final 3 episodes of the Devil's Bench podcast. I have texted you, I've texted Bill, and neither one of you have uploaded those so that I can listen to them. And especially, I was on a road trip and I could have used those podcasts. And I expressly told you I wanted those to listen to. And neither one of you made it happen. I'm still very disappointed in you. Oh, man. It'd be great to see you guys in the same position as someone like Primitive Technology. Yeah, that'd be great, man. Just you doing it full time, that'd be awesome. It's not even so much doing it full time; it's being able to rely on it to support us. That'd be awesome. But I also like the vagaries of entertainment media. I never expect that to actually be able to continually support. So we'll see. I'm just gonna keep making videos because that's what I really want to do. I want to spend all my time making videos. As long as I can do that and I can make that work, I'm happy. Hey, Daryl, welcome. Yeah, you are a little bit late, but that's no problem. Thank you very much for the good night. Hope you're able to check out the archive later. And then Daryl Anderson's actually one who joins in the Twitch streams every morning at 9 a.m. Which, if you guys didn't know, twitch.tv/nostalgic gamer. We have a pretty good time every morning. Canned seafood in the stew. Gee, I wonder why it was gross. Yeah, of course Andrew liked it. You know that he liked it. Oh, Pudge from Dota. Yeah, I've never played Dota. Never played Dota, never played League of Legends. I've never played Fortnite. I have played Battle Royale, or not Battle Royale, Battlegrounds. Which is great. When is the JMT trip? No plans. If I do it, it's gonna be next year because I missed the permit thing for this year. You heard me, Alex. You keep saying AA. I was thinking Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah, that's pretty funny that it's the same thing, right? Oh, speaking of podcasts, what podcasts do you listen to regularly? The biggest one is the Giant Bombcast. All the podcasts I listen to are video game podcasts. Well, not all of them. The only one that's not video games is the Reply All podcast. And I do occasionally listen to the H3 podcast, but it usually just like the highlights. Or if there's a guest that I really like they had a Good Mythical Morning on there for a while, or for one episode. It was great. Yeah, but Giant Bombcast, Reply All, the Dark Pixel podcast, and the Game Explained podcast. Those are the ones I've been listening to lately. I used to listen to Bingecast, as I said earlier, but they didn't give me my final 3 episodes, so I haven't listened to them. Oh man. Are you going to archive this video? Yes, I am. It'll be on like as soon as we finish the stream. It should be up. Peace out, my Estes. Oh yeah, I will get on that Patreon Discord. I will get that going. In fact, I promise I will do it by the time the next episode releases. I will figure out how to do that, and I will get you on there. You can manage it. It'll be fantastic. Miko, hi Robby, Mick V75 here. Welcome. Waiting for the next Twitch stream. He's another Twitch streamer or Twitch. He joins the Twitch streams every morning, and we have a good time, as I said earlier. Heading to work. Hope you have a good one, Robby. Thank you, Lanny. How much time we got? 4 minutes. Okay. If you guys have any last minute questions, let me know. We can get those in. If you don't get a permit for the JMT, check out the Tahoe Rim Trail. Similar in looks, but requires no permit. Oh, well, then maybe the JMT will happen sooner than I thought, because then I could do it in the fall. I'm going to be going to Portland in October. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. So I could time it to be at the same time as that, or like right after. Okay. Tahoe Rim Trail. I will look into it. I'm taking your and Andrew's advice. And by the way, Tim Lawson, great to meet you, man. It was so much fun. I want to eat some of that hot chicken right now. And while I'm recovering from knee surgery, I'm going to be gaming with my son. That sounds like a great idea, man. So did you find out if he plays Fortnite? Were we talking about that? We met up with you. Here, let me get you guys my Twitch. But I stream on Twitch at like 9 a.m. Eastern every day, so that's not an ideal time for most people. Do you think there will ever be a website that surpasses YouTube as the main video sharing site? It is incredibly unlikely, just because of the sheer infrastructure that Google has available to it. I just can't see anybody actually competing with it. The only one that I could reasonably see competing with it from an infrastructure and money point of view is Pornhub, just because the amount of traffic they get. They have the ability to actually create an infrastructure and community. But at the same time, like, it's gonna be really hard for it to get like just your average people over the Pornhub name, right? Even if you're going there for content that's not porn, like, I don't know if they would be able to get over that marketing hurdle of getting people to go there for all sorts of other types of content. But YouTube itself, like YouTube, they need to find a way to make it so that the middle class, like Adventure Archives, for instance, has a way of getting support directly on the site that's a fair cut. Like, because ad money just does not cut it if you don't have a certain type of video. If you don't upload frequently and you don't have stuff that is widely searched for and will get a lot of traction, there's just no way you can live off of ads alone. So you have to turn to third party sites like Patreon, but Patreon is all outside of YouTube, right? So to getting people to sign up, there's like this big hurdle that you only get super fans. If they integrated a Patreon like interface or Patreon community into YouTube channels, that would be the most ideal as long as the cut was fair. Like if they did something like what they do with super chats, they take like 30 or 40% from any super chat. So like if somebody gives you $1, Google gets 30 or 40 cents from that dollar. That's way too much. Like Patreon, their cut is kind of big, but it's only like 7%. So it gets bigger the more you make, obviously. But if they could get it so that there was something like Patreon integrated into YouTube with a cut that's like 7%, that would be great. Um, it's not answering the original question, but I'm just thinking about how YouTube could be better for more creators, because right now YouTube is the only game in town besides Twitch, but Twitch doesn't do like regular videos, and the discovery is not the same because you don't have as broad of, I don't know. It's really hard for me to imagine anybody taking over YouTube as a top spot. So, uh, he does play Fortnite. Okay, yeah, I thought so. I feel like the internet has reached a stage where there are established. Okay, it's 8:30. Let's take the rest of the questions, and then we'll catch up on it. Okay, I feel like the internet has reached a stage where there are established players now. It's not the Wild West anymore, where you can take the whole market. Yeah, it's definitely not. Like I just remember, man, if I had started on YouTube like the day that I first uploaded a video, it's probably good because I would have done a terrible job. But you know, Robby has twice as many subscribers on Pornhub as on YouTube. Super weird. Bird Brain Z, welcome. SCV reporting for duty. If Robby really had twice the subscribers on Pornhub as YouTube, he'd be so rich. Well, I mean, if I could get people to watch my porn videos, I would totally make some. I just don't know if there's a market for that. I'd really appreciate you sharing that airsoft video. Thanks in advance. I will look into that. If I still have it, I will get it uploaded. Thank you, Inbikes Rule. Good night to you as well. Raven Rook. Old school Raven Rook. What's up, man? That's why cryptos will be in place so that these companies won't be able to gank that much money. Check out one called Theta, made from founders of YouTube and Twitch. There's a filmmaker named Luke Newman who just started one called Savage Coin. And I don't know exactly how it works, but somehow it's supposed to make it so that you could draw like a minimum wage as a filmmaker, even when you don't have big projects. Maybe I do need to look into all that stuff, but yeah. Thank you, Casual Tim. Thank you, Luke. Where draft? You're saying that as if you have some videos in the bank. No, I did say it like I've filmed some porn videos, but I've actually never filmed a porn video. But man, if I could get people to watch it, I would consider it. Because why not, dude? Right? Okay, yeah. So that's it for today's stream, guys. We're gonna be streaming it. I'm gonna be streaming again on Thursday at 1 or 2 p.m. So be sure to check it out then. If you're interested, tomorrow morning there'll be a vlog at 7. The regular vlogs will start back up on Thursday at 7 a.m. I'll be filming around the house, cooking eggs, probably not drinking any coffee, but cooking lunch and doing the same thing I do every day, Pinky. So, okay. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Alex Ander, thank you for modding. You did a great job, son. I'll see you guys on Thursday, and I'll see you on the vlog tomorrow. Have a good one.